Nobody owes you anything tonight. We are not here to find comfort in soft illusions. We are here to find a different kind of peace. We are here to find an advantage, a quiet strength, found only in the cold, clear light of 33 brutal truths. What if the calm you feel right now, the stillness of the room as you wait for sleep, is the perfect state to finally absorb the ideas that can set you free? These truths are not meant to harm you. They are meant to arm you. As your body relaxes, your mind will awaken, becoming clear and focused. What if the very things you've been avoiding are the keys you've been searching for? Let us begin. The first truth is the foundation for all the others. It is the one that, once truly accepted, will change the texture of your entire life. It is this: nobody owes you anything. We are born into a world of unspoken contracts. We are taught from our very first breath the silent logic of transaction. If you are good, you will receive good. If you are kind, you will be met with kindness. If you are a dutiful child, a loyal friend, a hardworking employee, you will be rewarded with love, with respect, with security. This is the central, comforting myth of our lives. We carry this invisible ledger with us through the world, a detailed accounting of all the debts we believe the world owes us for our good behavior, for our sacrifices, for our simple participation. You hold a door. You expect a thank you. You give years of your life to a job. You expect unwavering loyalty. You give your love to another. You expect it to be returned in precisely the same measure. These are not just hopes. They are invoices. Invoices you silently send to the universe, and you become bitter, resentful, and confused when they are not paid. But here is the truth that whispers in the dark, the one you already know. The universe has signed no contract with you. Society, your friends, your family, they are not bound by your script. This sense of entitlement, this deeply buried belief that you are owed something for just existing, it is the primary source of profound, endless, and corrosive disappointment. It is the sand in the gears of your life. This is not a message of despair. It is the opposite. It is the moment of your liberation. When you can truly, deeply, and functionally accept that nothing is owed to you, everything changes. Every act of kindness you receive is no longer a late payment on a debt. It becomes what it truly is: a gift, a genuine, unearned, beautiful gift. Every success you achieve is no longer a simple fulfillment of what you were supposed to get. It is a victory that you forged from nothing, a testament to your agency. The crushing weight of expectation, an expectation that was breaking your back, simply lifts. The bitterness dissolves, and in its place, you find a quiet, powerful freedom. You're no longer a creditor, waiting impatiently for a world that is bankrupt to pay its dues. You are an agent, an actor, a creator, free to build your own life, to earn your own success, and to truly, deeply value the genuine kindness you receive. Life isn't fair. As you let go of the idea that you are owed, as you tear up that invisible ledger, you run immediately into the next, sharper realization. It is a truth you've known since the playground, the first time you saw the rules broken without consequence but have tried to forget ever since. Life isn't fair. You can spend your entire life, your precious, finite energy, documenting the injustice. You can fill volumes with the evidence. The person who works half as hard, but who was born with twice the advantage, the perfect connections, the effortless charm. The random, chaotic misfortune that strikes the kind, while the cruel prosper without a care. The sheer, unadulterated, senseless nature of luck, of illness, of opportunity. You can point to the scales and you can scream that they are unbalanced. And you will be right. You will be absolutely, factually, undeniably correct. And you will be exhausted. You will be powerless because you are arguing with a storm. You are demanding that gravity cease to pull just for you. Fairness is a human invention. It is a beautiful, necessary, and vital concept we created to build societies, to manage our tribes, to protect ourselves from the chaos. We need the concept of fairness to live together. But reality, the raw, unfeeling mechanism of the universe, is indifferent. It is a storm that does not care who it soaks. It is a fire that does not care what it burns. It is a system that runs on physics, probability, and cause and effect, not on morality. You can spend your life arguing with the rain, demanding that it recognize your virtue and spare you. Or you can accept the nature of the storm and build a shelter, or learn to dance in it. This obsession with fairness is a deep-seated childhood need. We are wired to believe that the rules matter, that if we just follow them, some cosmic parent, God, the universe, karma, will protect us and reward us. When it doesn't, we feel betrayed. We ask, why me? This question is the symptom of our illusion. The universe's answer is always the same. Why not you? Accepting this does not make you cynical. It makes you strategic. It makes you powerful. You stop wasting your limited, precious energy arguing with reality. You stop being a plaintiff, pleading your case to an empty courtroom. You become a creator. You stop asking, why is this happening? And you start asking, given that this is happening, what do I do next? You become your own force. You don't wait for fairness to be handed to you. You build your own small, sacred pockets of it, in your family, in your team, in your own moral code. This is how you take your power back from the chaos. The world doesn't stop for your grief. There will come a day, or perhaps it has already come, when your personal world fractures. A loss, a failure, a betrayal so profound that it feels like the universe itself should stop, that time should shatter. It feels like an event of such magnitude that all of humanity should pause, bow in shared, solemn recognition. Your loss feels cosmic. It feels like the end of everything. You are the protagonist of a great tragedy, and the spotlight of your pain is so bright, it blots out the sun. But then you will look out the window, and in that moment, you will discover a cold, terrifying, and ultimately saving truth. The traffic is still moving. People are still laughing in the cafe across the street, consumed by their own small joys. The mail is still delivered. Deadlines are still being met. And the sun, in its ultimate breathtaking betrayal, will rise on schedule, just as it always does, painting the sky in colors that feel like a mockery. The world's insistence on continuing, its unceasing, mechanical, indifferent momentum, feels like a personal insult. It feels like a cold, global dismissal of your pain. How can you all just go on? You want to scream at the world. Don't you know what just happened? Don't you know what I've lost? You see it in the most mundane places. You post a heartfelt tribute online, your heart poured out into the digital void, and the very next post in your feed is a cat video or an advertisement for shoes. The algorithm itself is the uncaring momentum of the world, and it feels like it is rendering your pain insignificant. But this truth is not as cruel as it first appears. It is also a quiet, paradoxical lifeline. The world's momentum is a silent invitation. It is a deep, gravitational pull, a promise that one day you too will continue. You don't have to move with it today. You don't have to move tomorrow. You can stay in the stillness of your pain, in the eye of your personal storm, for as long as you need. But you know the world is out there, waiting. It offers a path back to the living, a rhythm to rejoin when you are ready, when you choose to be. Your pain is vast, but the world is vaster, and its unceasing motion is a form of deep, unconscious hope. It is the current that will eventually, gently, carry you forward, even when you feel you cannot take another step. The world doesn't stop for you, and one day you will be profoundly grateful that it didn't. Most minds drift away before reaching this point, but you're still here. Leave your like so I'll know your mind didn't wander. Most people don't care about your problems. This realization is a cousin to the last, but it is more personal, and it stings in a different way. When you are in pain, or when you're struggling, you feel a desperate human urge to share the burden. You believe, quite naturally, that the weight of your problem should be as obvious and as heavy to others as it is to you. You talk about it, you explain it, you relive it, hoping for empathy, for a rescue, for someone to simply see the depth of your struggle. And what you will find, more often than not, is a blank stare, a polite, "I'm sorry," before a quick change of subject. Or perhaps most painfully, you will see a friend, someone you trust, check their phone while you're in the middle of your confession. This is the spotlight effect of your own suffering. You are the protagonist of your story, and in your story, this problem is the central plot, the driving conflict of the entire season. But you must understand this, and you must accept it. Everyone else is also the protagonist of their story. And in their story, your problem is, at best, a minor subplot, a single line of dialogue. Or more likely, it is just background noise. It is not that people are inherently cruel or sociopathic. It is that emotional bandwidth is a finite, precious, and easily depleted resource. Imagine every person has only 100 units of care to spend each day. Most people, the vast majority of people, are spending 99 of those units on themselves, their bills, their insecurities, their impending deadlines, their rebellious children, their own quiet heartbreaks. They are consumed by their own narrative. They simply do not have the capacity, the energy, or the space to care about your problems with the intensity you crave. This truth, once you absorb it, is a filter. It is painful at first, but it is incredibly clarifying. It will clear your life of illusions. You will stop broadcasting your pain to an indifferent audience, expecting a standing ovation of support. You will stop being angry at your friends for not being the perfect mind-reading saviors you demanded they be. Instead, you will learn to be strategic. You will identify the one or two people in your life who do have the capacity to care, your true, genuine support system. You will learn to cherish them like the rare, precious treasure they are. And for everyone else, you will learn the profound, quiet, and unbreakable strength of self-reliance. You will stop being a victim waiting for a rescue. You will realize that depending on yourself is not loneliness. It is maturity. It is freedom. People will judge you, no matter what you do. As you stand in the quiet, you can almost feel it. A low, constant hum of observation. The feeling of being perceived, measured, and filed away. We are, by nature, social creatures, and our deepest, most primal fear is that of social execution, the terror of being cast out of the tribe. This fear manifests today as the paralyzing fear of judgment. You are afraid to speak up in a meeting, fearing you'll sound foolish. You are afraid to publish your art, fearing the critics. You are afraid to wear what you want, fearing the stares. You are afraid to be yourself, fearing you will be found lacking. And so you begin to curate. You sand down your rough edges. You mute your bright colors. You create a safe, acceptable version of yourself, hoping that this version will be immune to the verdict. But here is the brutal and freeing part of the truth. It doesn't work. The people who would have judged you for being too loud are now judging you for being too quiet. The people who would have judged you for being a failure are now judging you for being a sellout. The people who would have judged you for being too much are now judging you for being boring. Why? Because judgment is rarely about you. It is a mirror, not a window. When someone judges you, they are projecting their own fears, their own insecurities, their own unspoken rules for the world. A person who is deeply insecure about their own financial status will be the first to judge your new car or your old one. A person who is terrified of taking risks will be the first to call your new venture irresponsible. Judgment is a low-energy mental shortcut. It's how the human brain, which is lazy by design, categorizes the world without spending the calories to understand it. You are not a person to the judger. You are a data point to be filed. The pain of this truth is the paralysis it causes. In your attempt to avoid the verdict, you don't live at all. You become a ghost in your own life. The advantage, however, is the most profound freedom you will ever experience. When you truly, deeply accept that the judgment is unavoidable, you are suddenly free. You are released from the impossible, exhausting job of managing the perceptions of millions. If you will be judged anyway, you might as well be judged for who you actually are. You might as well do the thing you were terrified to do. You might as well speak your truth, build your vision, and live your life. The judgment of others is a prison, but the lock is on the inside. This truth is the key. You cannot please everyone. This truth flows directly from the last. The fear of judgment creates a disease, the disease of the people pleaser. It is the chameleon sickness, the desperate, exhausting attempt to be the perfect, most agreeable version of yourself for every single person you meet. With your boss, you are the efficient, no-nonsense employee. With your free-spirited friend, you are the spontaneous, down-for-anything companion. With your conservative family, you are the traditional, stable, and quiet one. You become a collection of masks, and you change them so quickly, you begin to forget which one, if any, is your actual face. You live in terror of conflict. The word no feels like a weapon in your mouth. You say yes when you mean no. You say I don't mind when you are in fact screaming on the inside. You do this because you believe that this is how you keep people. This is how you earn love. This is how you stay safe. You believe that your agreeableness is your greatest asset. But it is not. It is your greatest liability. Because this is a mathematical impossibility. The world is a web of conflicting desires. What pleases one person will, by necessity, displease another. The yes you give to your boss to work late is a no you give to your family, who wanted you home for dinner. The silence you keep to please your conservative friend is a betrayal of the values you share with your activist friend. Every time you say yes to something you don't want, you are saying no to something you do want. You are saying no to your own time, your own energy, your own values, and ultimately your own identity. The root of this is a childhood survival mechanism. As a small, powerless child, pleasing the giant, all-powerful adults around you was survival. Your very life depended on their approval. But you are not a child anymore. And you are still using this outdated primitive software, and it is destroying you. The advantage of accepting this truth is that you can finally stop playing an impossible game. You can trade the stressful, draining, and hollow job of pleasing everyone for the difficult but profoundly rewarding job of being someone. You will have to learn to say no. It will feel like fire in your mouth, but it will be a clean burn. You will be respected, not just liked. You will lose some people. You will. They will be the ones who only valued you for your compliance, but the people who remain, they will be the ones who see you. Appearance and first impressions matter. This is a truth that makes us deeply uncomfortable. We were all raised on the beautiful, noble lie. Don't judge a book by its cover. We want to believe that our inner worth, our intellect, our kindness, our real self is all that matters. We want to believe that people should and will take the time to discover the complex, wonderful story written inside us. But this is not a truth. It is a wish. The brutal truth is that the cover is what makes people decide if they want to read the book at all. This isn't about morality. It's about biology. Our brains are ancient, 200,000-year-old survival tools that were not designed for the modern world. They were designed to make high-speed, low-information judgments in a hostile environment. In the time it takes you to blink, our ancestors had to decide: friend, foe, mate, threat. That code is still running. We don't see people. We see data. When you walk into a room, before you have uttered a single word, you have already been scanned, judged, and categorized. Your posture, your grooming, your clothing, your eye contact. These are not superficial details. They are the data points your ancient brain uses to file you away. Your posture signals confidence or fear. Your grooming signals self-respect or neglect. Your clothing signals tribe, status, and professionalism. We fight this. We say, they should get to know the real me. This is a form of entitlement, a link back to our first truth. Nobody owes you the 50 hours it takes to get to know the real you. You must earn that investment. Your first impression is the advertisement. It is the trailer for the movie. If the trailer is uninspiring, unfocused, or unprofessional, no one will buy a ticket for the feature film. This isn't fair, but it is true. The pain of ignoring this is the pain of invisibility. You are being filtered out of opportunities you never even knew existed. You are being dismissed at interviews before you sit down. You are being overlooked in social situations. The advantage of accepting this is that, of all the brutal truths, this is the one most easily used. You have almost complete control over it. You are not being fake by dressing well for an interview. You are being strategic. You are not selling out by working on your posture. You are being respectful of the ancient social code. You're not changing who you are. You are simply changing the cover so that people are finally willing to read the story. People value you for what you can give them. This is perhaps the coldest and most difficult truth to hold. We are raised on the ideal of unconditional love. We want to believe that we are loved for just being, for our essence. But in the vast majority of human interactions, this is an illusion. We are all, in a sense, transactions. This isn't just about money or your job. It is about value and you must provide some. Ask yourself, why are you in your friends' lives? It is not just because. It is because you provide a specific value. Perhaps it is emotional value. You are a good listener. You are funny. You are a source of calm and support. Perhaps it is functional value. You are a great connector. You give sound advice on business. You are the one who knows how to fix things. Perhaps it is aspirational value. You are disciplined or kind or ambitious, and being around you inspires them to be better. Now ask yourself, what if you stopped providing that value? What if the funny friend became relentlessly negative? What if the good listener became a toxic narcissist? What if the reliable friend became hopelessly flaky? The relationship would fade. It would die. The condition for the love was that you remain the person who provided that value. We are nodes in a network, and to stay connected, a current must flow from us. But what about my family, you might think? Or my partner? They love me unconditionally. Do they? Or do they love you on the condition that you are the person you've always been? The one who shares their history, who contributes to the family, who loves them back. If you were to fundamentally change, to become cruel or selfish, or to betray them, you would find out exactly how conditional that love truly is. This is not a reason for despair. In fact, it is the opposite. The terror of this truth is the feeling of being used. The fear of, what if I have nothing left to give? But the advantage is profound. It is the single greatest antidote to entitlement. It forces you to stop being a passive object, waiting to be loved, and to become an active agent. It forces you to take a clear, cold inventory. What value do I bring? Am I a net positive in the lives of the people I care about? This truth keeps you sharp. It keeps you humble. It encourages you to be a better friend, a more skilled colleague, a more supportive partner. It forces you to keep growing. Stop asking what the world can give you. Ask what you are giving. That is where your value and your self-worth is truly found. Weakness invites exploitation. This is a truth that scrapes against the very pillars of our civilized ideals. We are taught to be compassionate, to protect the vulnerable, to show mercy. But this is a moral code we impose upon our nature. It is not our nature itself. Deep in the oldest, most reptilian part of your brain, the code is much simpler. It is the law of the jungle, the law of the savannah, the law of the boardroom. Strength survives, and weakness invites exploitation. This is not because the world is full of evil people. It is because the world is full of opportunistic people. That is a crucial difference. Human nature, like all of nature, is a system designed to find the path of least resistance. It is designed to maximize gain for the minimum cost. And your weakness, your indecision, your desperation, your inability to say no, your desperate need for validation, that is the path of least resistance. You smell of it, metaphorically. When you walk into a negotiation desperate for the deal, you might as well have posted your bank account on the door. When you enter a relationship, broken and needing to be saved, you are a red flag to the healthy and a beacon to the predator. We think of weakness as something physical, but the most dangerous weaknesses are invisible. It is the person who cannot bear to be alone, and so accepts any partnership, no matter how toxic. It is the employee who cannot bear conflict, and so absorbs the work and the blame of 3 other people. In this human ecosystem, you don't have to be a predator, but you must, absolutely must, stop thinking like prey. The pain of this truth is the feeling of being hunted, of being preyed upon, of being a perpetual victim. You feel the world is unfair because you are always being taken advantage of. But the advantage of this truth is that it is a call to action. It is a demand that you begin a process of hardening. Not a hardening of the heart, that is cynicism, but a hardening of your boundaries, a hardening of your competence. You build strength not to attack, but to make yourself an unprofitable target. You learn to say no. You learn to walk away from a bad deal. You learn to be self-reliant. You learn to be your own savior. Your strength is a wall, and it is not built to keep others out. It is built to show them exactly where your property line begins. People will take advantage of you if you let them. This is the active, personal, and far more painful version of the previous truth. If weakness invites exploitation is the abstract law, this is the personal conviction. The exploitation is not a random event. It is not a lightning strike. It is a dance. And it requires two partners. One person who takes and one person who lets them. This is a truth about the erosion of your own boundaries. No one takes advantage of you all at once. It never starts that way. It's a slippery slope. It's a boiling frog scenario. It starts with a small, reasonable request. Can you just stay 5 extra minutes? Can you just, lend me a small amount until Friday? Can you just let this one comment slide? And you say yes. You say yes because you want to be nice. You want to be helpful. You want to be easygoing. You do not want conflict. Block 6. But in that moment, you have just done something catastrophic. You have just trained that person on how to treat you. You have taught them that your boundaries are soft, that your no is really a maybe, that your time is not as valuable as theirs. You have laid down the path of least resistance, and they, being human, have walked on it. And because it worked, they will do it again. The next request will be a little bigger. Can you stay an hour? Can I borrow a little more? Why are you so sensitive? It was just a joke. Before you know it, you are the one working every weekend while your colleagues leave on time. You are the one in a one-sided, emotionally draining relationship. You are the one who is always, always giving, and they are the one who is always, always taking. And you are filled with a simmering, toxic resentment. You are angry at them for their audacity, for their selfishness. But if you are truly honest in the darkest part of the night, you know the truth. A deeper, sharper anger is pointed at yourself for not speaking up, for not holding the line, for not having the courage to say that first, simple, powerful, world-changing word, no. The person taking advantage is not always a malicious villain. Often, they are just human. They are just following the instructions you gave them. The advantage of this truth is the realization of radical ownership. You are not a victim. You are a volunteer, and you can quit. The power to end this dynamic is, and always was, entirely in your hands. It is the power of a single, firm, and complete sentence. Stop being a good person. Start being a whole person. You are the gatekeeper of your own energy. Stop giving the keys to thieves. Everyone has an agenda. We like to believe in pure altruism. We like to believe that people do things just because. We want to live in a world where actions are not motivated by self-interest. But this is not the world we live in. The world runs on motivation. And that motivation is the agenda. Everyone has one. This is not a cynical statement. It is a mechanical one. An agenda isn't inherently sinister. It is simply a goal, a need, a desire, a a mission. It is the reason someone is interacting with you. The barista who smiles at you, their agenda is to make you a pleasant customer and to get your money. Your boss, who asks about your weekend, their agenda is to build rapport, to keep you productive and loyal. The politician who kisses a baby, their agenda is to get your vote. Your best friend who calls you to vent, their agenda is to receive comfort, to be heard, to feel less alone. Your partner who makes you dinner, their agenda might be to show love, to receive love in return, or to connect after a long day. Even the philanthropist who gives away millions, their agenda is to create change, to build a legacy, to ease their guilt, or to achieve a feeling of purpose. The agenda is always present. Always. The pain comes from naivety. The pain comes from the illusion of agendaless action. When you believe someone has no agenda, you are completely, totally, and hopelessly vulnerable to their real one. You are the mark. You are the one who is shocked when the friendly salesperson suddenly becomes aggressive at the closing. You are the one who feels betrayed when a colleague who you thought was your friend takes credit for your work to get a promotion. You weren't betrayed by them. You were betrayed by your own naivety. You mistook a colleague for a confidant. You misunderstood the agenda. The advantage of this truth is clarity. Pure, cold, and beautiful clarity. You stop being surprised by human nature. You stop being disappointed when people act in their own self-interest. Instead, you learn to read. You learn to listen to what is not said. You learn to ask, what does this person want? Not in an accusatory way, but in a functional diagnostic way. You stop trying to find people without an agenda. You start learning to find the beautiful win-win scenarios where your agenda and their agenda align, and you learn to spot the win-lose scenarios from a mile away, and you protect yourself. Don't be a pawn in someone else's game. Learn to see the board. Your reputation can be destroyed overnight. It takes a lifetime to build. It takes one tweet, one rumor, one mistake. Let us be very clear about what we are discussing. We are not discussing your character. Your character is who you are. It is the sum of your habits, your values, your integrity. It is the stone foundation you build deep in the earth where no one can see. We are discussing your reputation. Your reputation is not who you are. Your reputation is who other people think you are. It is a fragile, external, collective perception. It is a vapor. It is a story told by others, and it is not in your control. Think of it as a house of cards. You spend 20, 30, 40 years carefully, meticulously building it, card by card, every good deed, every deadline met, every kind word, every moment of integrity. It's a masterpiece of stability. It is your identity in the world. Then, one person with one breath, a rumor, a lie, a misunderstanding, or a single genuine terrible human mistake can blow it all down. In the morning, you are left sitting in the rubble of what you thought was your life. In the pre-digital age, this was a localized disaster, but today, in the age of the algorithm, this is amplified a million times. We live in a permanent court of public opinion. This court has no judge, no due process, no nuance, no innocent until proven guilty, and most terrifyingly, no delete button. A bad video, a screenshot taken out of context, a false accusation. The truth no longer matters. The perception is the reality, and it travels at the speed of light while the truth is still lacing up its boots. This is the anxiety that shadows every public figure, every professional, every single person on social media. The fear of cancellation, the permanence of our digital mistakes. The terror of this truth is the feeling of walking on a high wire with no net, while the crowd below is just waiting for you to fall. But the advantage is a profound, life-altering shift in focus. You must stop obsessing over the one thing you cannot control. your reputation, and focus with religious intensity on the one thing you can control, your character. Your reputation is what they say about you. Your character is why they are wrong. You must build your internal foundation, your integrity, your values, your self-respect, so strong, so deep, and so real that when the external house of cards inevitably falls, you are still standing. Anchor your worth to your character, not your reputation. One is stone, the other is vapor. Hard work does not guarantee success. We are fed a simple and comforting equation from childhood. Effort is reward. It is the central promise of the modern world. We are told, if you just work hard enough, if you just put in the 10,000 hours, if you just grind and hustle, you will succeed. This is the gospel of the meritocracy. We build our entire lives around this formula. We sacrifice our sleep, our health, our relationships. We trade our youth for the grind, all in the profound, unshakable faith that our hard work is a deposit and that success is the guaranteed interest-bearing withdrawal that will come later. And then it doesn't. You see the person who worked half as hard get the promotion. You see the project you poured your soul into fail. You see the business you sacrificed everything for go bankrupt. And in that moment, the equation shatters. This is the great betrayal. This is the moment most people break or become bitter. They feel cheated by the universe. But the universe never made that promise. The equation was wrong. It was never hard work equals success. The true equation is much more complex and much colder. It looks more like hard work plus talent plus timing plus luck plus connections equals success. And you only control one of those variables. The world is not a fair machine that weighs your effort and dispenses a reward. It is a chaotic, non-linear, and deeply unfair casino. You can do everything right and still lose. You can play every card perfectly and still get beaten by a random draw. You can be the most talented, hardest working musician and never get discovered. You can be the most brilliant, dedicated scientist, and a competitor stumbles on the answer by accident. This truth is terrifying. It's the realization that you are not in complete control, that your destiny is not entirely in your hands. This is the pain of the truth, but the advantage is what separates the mature from the naive. When you know that hard work is not a guarantee, you are free from the bitterness. You stop seeing hard work as a transaction. I do this, you give me that. And you start seeing it as a necessity. It is not the key to success, it is merely the price of entry. It is the non-negotiable ticket that gets you into the casino. It doesn't guarantee you'll win, but it is the only way you are allowed to play the game at all. When you accept this, your entire perspective shifts. You stop working for the guarantee. You start working to increase your odds. You start working for the work itself. You start working for the character it builds, for the skills you acquire. And you learn, finally, to respect the terrifying, humbling, and essential role of luck. The world rewards results, not effort. This truth is the brutal and logical next step. If hard work isn't the guarantee, what is? The answer is simple: results. The world, in its cold, pragmatic, and unfeeling way, does not care about your journey. It does not care about your why. It does not care about the nights you didn't sleep, the sacrifices you made, or the tears you cried. It cares only about what you produced. It is the ultimate show, don't tell. You see this everywhere. In sports, you can try your hardest for the entire game, but if you do not put the ball in the net, you do not win. In the corporate world, you can work 100-hour weeks, but if your project does not deliver a profit, if it does not result in a gain, you will be seen as a cost. In art, you can spend 20 years on a single painting, pouring your soul into every brushstroke, but the world will not reward you for the time. It will only reward you for the painting. Does it move them? Does it create and result in their soul? We are desperate for the world to be a classroom where we get a gold star for effort. We want the teacher to come by and say, "I see you're trying so hard, here is your A." But the world is not a classroom. It is a marketplace. It is a battlefield. It is a system that runs on outcomes. The pain of this is that it feels invalidating. It feels like your struggle, your noble, exhausting struggle, means nothing. It feels like the world is saying that you mean nothing unless you produce. But the advantage of this truth is a radical, clarifying focus. It forces you to stop confusing motion with progress. It forces you to stop being busy and to start being effective. You stop measuring your day by the hours you sat at a desk, and you start measuring it by the one thing you actually finished. This truth is the antidote to performative work, the modern disease of looking busy. This truth forces you to ask the only question that matters. Is this working? Is this producing the outcome I want? If the answer is no, you don't just try harder at the same broken strategy. You change the strategy, you adapt, you get smarter. Effort is the fuel. But results are the destination. Stop telling the world how hard you're driving. Just show them you've arrived. Life is a competition, whether you like it or not. This is the great, uncomfortable truth of our shared existence. We live in an era that wants to deny this. We are told everyone is a winner. We are given participation trophies. We are taught that comparison is the thief of joy, and that we should only compete with ourselves. These are beautiful sentiments. They are comforting, and they are, in the context of reality, dangerously naive. From the moment of your conception, you were in a competition. You were one of millions of sperm in a race to one egg. You won. Your entire existence is the result of a biological zero-sum competition. That race never, ever stops. You are competing. You are competing for a spot at the best school. You are competing for the job. You are competing for the promotion. You are competing for the attention of the person you desire. You are competing for a parking space. You are competing with your colleagues for a limited pool of bonus money. You are competing with every other company for the customer's dollar. Even your ideas in the marketplace of thought are competing for attention and survival. You may say, I am not a competitive person. I will simply opt out. You cannot. You cannot opt out of a system you are, by definition, a part of. Your refusal to acknowledge the competition does not remove you from it. It simply means you will lose. You are the antelope on the savannah that doesn't believe in lions. Your refusal to play the game is just a form of surrender. The pain of this truth is that it feels ugly. It feels animalistic. It feels unevolved. It shatters the peaceful, cooperative, utopian vision we have for ourselves. But the advantage is that it wakes you up. It is the smelling salts for a sleeping mind. When you accept that life is a competition, you stop being a passive, naive participant. You stop being surprised when your colleague throws you under the bus for a promotion. You stop being shocked when your competitor plays dirty. You stop being the antelope. You become a strategist. You understand that you must be prepared, you must be skilled, you must be better. It does not mean you have to be cruel. It does not mean you have to win at all costs. That is a child's version of competition. The mature version of competition is a drive for excellence. You can compete with honor, you can compete with integrity, you can compete with grace, but you must compete. Acknowledging the game is the first and most important step to winning it. Mediocrity is crowded. Excellence is lonely. Look around you. At any given moment, most people are doing the average. They are in the middle of the bell curve. This is the space of good enough. It is the space of fine. It is the space of following instructions, of meeting expectations, of not rocking the boat. This is mediocrity, and it is not empty. It is crowded. It is the busiest, loudest, most densely populated space in human existence. It is the long line for the mainstream movie. It is the traffic jam on the 9-to-5 commute. It is the deafening roar of common opinion. And it is comfortable. There is a warmth in mediocrity. There is a safety in the herd. You are never alone. Your opinions are validated by millions. Your choices are affirmed by the group. You are, in a word, normal. But then, a dissatisfaction sets in. A quiet, gnawing feeling that Good enough is not, in fact, enough. You feel a pull toward more, a pull toward excellence. And so you begin to walk. You leave the crowded, warm, noisy center, and you begin to walk toward the edge. The path to excellence is not a crowded highway. It is a narrow, rocky, and dimly lit trail. And the first thing you notice is the silence. The crowds are gone. To become excellent at your craft, you will have to spend thousands of hours alone practicing while others are socializing. To build a great company, you will have to be the one awake at 3 a.m., worrying about payroll while your friends are asleep. To have an original, groundbreaking thought, you will have to stand outside the deafening roar of public opinion, alone, in the quiet, and think. This is the great price. The pain of this truth is the loneliness. It is the feeling of being a freak. It is the pain of having a conversation with someone and realizing you are speaking a language they do not understand. It is the sacrifice of normal comfort. But the advantage is that you can finally breathe. The air is cleaner out here. The signal is clearer. In the crowded center, you are competing with everyone for everything. In the lonely space of excellence, there is no competition. There is only the work. You are no longer one of a million, fighting for scraps. You are one of one. You have become a category of your own. The loneliness of excellence is the pain, but the sovereignty of excellence, that is the reward. We're halfway through this journey. Maybe you've closed your eyes, but your mind is still learning. Subscribe now and stay with us for what's coming next. Success makes you a target. In the crowded space of mediocrity, Block 16, there is a strange kind of safety. You are anonymous. You are one of the herd, and the herd offers camouflage. But the moment you achieve excellence, the moment you succeed, you are no longer part of the herd. You have, in effect, painted a target on your back. This is the great bitter paradox of success. You work your entire life for it, believing it will bring you security, freedom, and love. But what it also brings, in equal and often greater measure, is scrutiny, envy, and attack. The moment your head rises above the crowd, it becomes the easiest one to hit. This is not a guess. It is a law of human social dynamics. Why? First, your success is a mirror to other people's failures. Your hard-won victory becomes a painful, silent judgment on their inaction. Your discipline highlights their lack of it. Your wealth highlights their poverty. You haven't said a word of judgment, but you don't have to. Your existence is the judgment, and people will hate you for it. They will not hate themselves for their inaction. That is too painful. They will hate you for being the mirror. Second, you are no longer just a person. You are a symbol. You represent the system, the establishment, the 1%, or the lucky. You are a target for their free-floating anger, their political grievances, their personal frustrations. You have become an abstraction, and it is very, very easy to hate an abstraction. This is the pain of this truth. The loneliness of excellence is now joined by the anxiety of the attack. You will be misunderstood. Your words will be twisted. Your motives will be questioned. People you thought were your friends will reveal a chilling, quiet envy. You will be forced to live a more guarded, more careful, and more isolated life. But the advantage is that this fire purifies. This intense, painful scrutiny forces you to become anti-fragile. It is the ultimate high-stakes test of your character. It forces you to ask, did I achieve this success to be liked, or did I achieve it to do the work? If your success is built on the flimsy need for external validation, you will crumble. You will be destroyed by the first wave of criticism. But if your success is built on a genuine purpose, on a deep love for the craft, on the stone foundation of your character, Block 12, then the attacks, while painful, cannot destroy you. This truth is a filter. It will burn away your false friends. It will burn away your need for applause. And what is left will be you and the work, and that is all you ever really needed. Standing out makes others uncomfortable. This truth is the root, the social engine that creates the target on your back. It is a much more subtle and far more common experience. It happens long before you are successful. It happens simply because you are different. Human beings are, by nature, tribal. Our survival for 200,000 years depended on one simple, brutal rule: fit in. To be different was to be other, and to be other was to be a threat. To be other was to be cast out, and to be cast out was a death sentence. That ancient, primitive reptilian code is still running, deep in the operating system of every person you meet. We are creatures of homeostasis. We like things to be stable, predictable, and the same. And then you walk in. You are the one who stops drinking when everyone else is drunk. You are the one who starts talking about a new, crazy idea in a meeting that was just following the script. You are the one who starts getting in shape, while the rest of the group is bonded by their diet starts Monday complaints. You are the one who quietly reads a book while everyone else is scrolling. In that moment, you have violated the unspoken social contract of the group. You have, by your very presence, made them uncomfortable. You have held up a mirror, Block 17, and they do not like what they see. Your discipline makes them feel their own lack of it. Your new idea makes them feel lazy for not having one. Your health makes them feel guilty about their choices. You have become a walking, talking, breathing reminder of the gap between who they are and who they wish they were. They will not turn that discomfort inward. They will not say, my friend's discipline is inspiring me to change. That is rare. Instead, they will turn that discomfort outward, at you. This is where the small, subtle attacks begin. The jokes, the teasing, the friendly concern. You're no fun anymore. Why are you always working so hard? Relax. Oh, you're too good for us now? This is not friendship. This is the tribe's immune system, identifying you as a foreign agent and trying to neutralize you. It is the herd stamping its feet, trying to force you back into the comfortable, predictable center. The pain of this is the intense, primal feeling of rejection. It is the loneliest feeling in the world. But the advantage is that this discomfort is a compass. It is a sign. It is a blazingly accurate signal that you are moving, that you are growing. The day you stop making people uncomfortable is the day you have stopped growing. You have settled back into the herd. You have become mediocre again. You must learn to reframe this feeling, this social friction, this awkwardness. It is not a sign you are doing something wrong. It is the necessary, painful, and beautiful sign that you are doing something right. You are evolving. Let them be uncomfortable. Their comfort is not your responsibility. Friends change. Loyalty is rare. As you grow, as you evolve, as you begin to stand out and make others uncomfortable, you will discover one of the most painful truths of a long life. The people you started with will not always be the people you finish with. This is the truth about friends. We are raised on the idea that friendship, true friendship, is permanent. It is the friends forever bracelet. It is the bond that outlasts time, distance, and change. And then you change, or they change, or the context that held you together disappears. Think about your oldest friends. What bound you together? Often it was proximity. You went to the B school. You worked in the same office. You lived in the same neighborhood. The friendship was built on the foundation of shared context. But then, the context changes. You graduate. You get a new job. You move. And that powerful external scaffolding that held the friendship together is removed. And what you discover, to your quiet horror, is that without the scaffolding, there was nothing underneath. The calls become less frequent. The texts become shorter. It's not a dramatic breakup. There is no fight. There is only a slow, silent, and incredibly sad drift. A drift into stranger who knows all my old secrets. Or, perhaps more painfully, the context doesn't change, but you do. You are the one who, as in Block 18, starts to grow. You stop drinking, or you find a new passion, or you have a child, or you discover a new philosophy, and you find that your old friends, they don't like this new version of you. They want the old you, the fun you, the predictable you. And you are faced with a terrible choice: remain the person they are comfortable with, or become the person you are meant to be. This is where you discover the rarity of true loyalty. Loyalty is not friends forever. Loyalty is not nostalgia. True, rare, and precious loyalty is the friend who will change with you. It is the friend who will grow with you. It is the friend who is not just loyal to the you of 1999, but who is loyal to the you who is emerging today. This is the rarest diamond on earth. Most of your relationships will be friendships of context or friendships of season. They are beautiful, they are necessary, and they will and must end. The pain of this is the grief. It is the profound sadness of letting go. But the advantage is that it makes you a curator. You stop collecting friends like objects. You stop clinging to dead relationships out of a misplaced sense of nostalgia. You learn to bless and to release. And it makes you cherish, with a fierce and profound gratitude, the one or two, if you are truly lucky, the one or two loyal ones. Hardship reveals true friends. This truth is the test. It is the X-ray that finally reveals the rare loyalty we just discussed. In times of success, Block 17, your friend list explodes. You are magnetic. Everyone wants to be near you. The calls, the invitations, the praise, they are endless. Your world is full of sunshine friends, the ones who are happy to be in your orbit, to bask in your warmth, to be seen with you. It is a party. It is loud. It is fun. And it is a complete illusion. Because the hardship, the winter, is coming. It always comes. The hardship is the failure. It is the job loss. It is the scandal. Block 12. It is the divorce. It is the diagnosis. It is the moment your success evaporates and your sunshine disappears. It is the moment you are no longer the fun one. You are the sad one. You are the difficult one. You are the messy one. You are no longer a resource. You are a burden. And in that moment, the silence is deafening. The party is over. The sunshine friends have vanished. They are gone. They are busy. They don't know what to say. They are in truth afraid that your failure is contagious. And then, in the ruins, in the quiet, in the cold, you will hear a knock. One person, maybe two. They are the ones who were not there for the party. They are the ones who are not afraid of your ruins. They are the ones who show up, not with advice, but with a simple, powerful, and life-saving, I am here. These are the true friends. These are the loyal ones. The pain of this truth is the betrayal, the sheer, staggering, and profound disappointment of realizing that 99% of your friendships were vapor. It is an excruciating culling of your social world. It is a loss on top of your other loss. But the advantage is the single greatest gift of your life. The hardship has revealed the truth. It has burned away the superficial and left you with the real. You are left with a smaller, quieter, but unbreakable circle. You now know with absolute certainty who you can build your life on. You are no longer distracted by the crowd. You are focused on the foundation. The hardship in the end was not a curse, it was a filter. It was the most brutal and most valuable test you will ever take. Success demands sacrifice. We are a culture that wants to believe in the and. We want the corner office and 8 hours of sleep. We want the world-changing career and to never miss a family dinner. We want the financial freedom and the daily, spontaneous, indulgent spending. We have been sold a beautiful, marketable, and poisonous lie. The lie of having it all at the same time. We want the noun of success without the verb of sacrifice. But the universe, in its cold, uncaring, and perfectly balanced arithmetic, does not deal in and, it deals in or. It is a world of trade-offs. To get one thing, you must, by necessity, give up another. This is not a tragedy, it is simply the price. And success, in whatever form you define it, has the highest price tag in the store. What is sacrifice? It is not a dramatic, one-time offering on a stone altar. It is a million, tiny, invisible, daily no's. It is saying no to the warm, comfortable bed in order to get up at 5 a.m. and work on your craft. It is saying no to the party, the social gathering, the networking event in order to study or to practice or to build. It is saying no to the easy, instant gratification of a streaming binge in order to do the hard, boring, and essential reps of your work. It is saying no to the comfort of being liked, block 6, in order to make the difficult, unpopular decision that you know is right. Every time you see a person you deem successful, you are not seeing the full picture. You are seeing the highlight reel. You are seeing the result of the sacrifice. You are not seeing the sculptor alone in the studio, covered in dust, having chipped away, piece by piece, everything in his life that was not the statue. He has chipped away comfort. He has chipped away leisure. He has chipped away friendships, block 19. He has chipped away balance. And what is left, what you admire, is the statue. It is the success. But it is also, in its own way, a monument to everything that was lost, everything that was given up to create it. The pain of this truth is the loss. It is the fear of missing out, FOMO. It is the very real grief for the other lives you could have lived. The balanced life, the easy life, the fun life. But the advantage is that you finally understand the cost. You can stop feeling cheated or overwhelmed. You can look at the price tag of your dream, and you can make a clear, conscious adult decision. You can decide, yes, I am willing to pay that price. Or, just as powerfully, you can decide, no, the price is too high for me. And in that, you find a different kind of peace. Today's sacrifices create tomorrow's options. This truth is the and to the previous or. It is the other side of the equation. Sacrifice feels, in the moment, like a loss. It feels like a restriction. It feels like a prison. You are the one staying in, while others are going out. You are the one eating the salad, while others are eating the cake. You are the one saving the 10%, while others are on the beautiful vacation. In every instance, your life, in the present, feels smaller. But this is a profound illusion. You are not losing something, you are buying something. You are not restricting your life, you are in fact expanding it. You are, with every small, painful, daily sacrifice, purchasing your future freedom. You are buying options. The person who sacrifices the nightly party to study is not just losing fun. They are buying the option 5 years from now to choose which medical school they attend or which law firm they join. The person who sacrifices the junk food and the couch is not just losing comfort. They are buying the option 10 years from now to hike a mountain with their child, to not be a prisoner of a sick body, to not be a burden. The person who sacrifices the new car, the expensive clothes, the daily latte, and instead invests that money is not just losing status. They are buying the single most powerful option in the world, the option to say no, the option to quit the job they hate, the option to walk away from the bad boss, the option to be free. This is the core economic engine of a successful life. It is delayed gratification. It is what financial experts call low time preference. It is the willingness to trade a small, instant reward now for a massive, compounding reward later. Most of the world lives with high time preference. They want the small comfort now. They are the slaves of the instant, and that is why they are and will remain trapped. Their tomorrows are impoverished because they are built on 1,000 todays of instant, indulgent spending. Feeling trapped in your life is rarely a single event. It is the slow, accumulated result of 1,000 small sacrifices you failed to make. The advantage of this truth is that it reframes discipline. Discipline is not a prison. It is not punishment. Discipline is the architect of your future freedom. Every time you make that small, hard, correct choice, you are not caging yourself. You are laying one more brick on the road to the place where you can never be caged again. Opportunity is fleeting. We live with a comforting, beautiful, and deadly illusion, the illusion of later. I'll start that business. later. I'll write that book, later. I'll ask that person out, later. I'll travel, later. We file our dreams away in a convenient, imaginary, and infinitely spacious cabinet called tomorrow. We believe that opportunity is a patient waiter, that it will stand politely by while we get ready, while we wait for the right time, while we get our lives in order. We see opportunity as a destination, a place we will arrive at when we are finally prepared. But this is not the nature of opportunity. Opportunity is not a patient waiter. It is a high-speed, non-stop bullet train. It does not stop at your station. It does not even slow down. It barrels past you, often in the dark, often disguised as hard work or a crazy risk. And all you get is a sound, a whoosh, and then it is gone. By the time most people see an opportunity, by the time it is safe and obvious and proven, the opportunity is gone. The real, valuable, life-changing opportunity was when it was risky. It was when it was weird. It was when it was a stupid idea that will never work. By the time your aunt is telling you about a hot stock, the opportunity has been dead for a year. Why do we let it pass? We let it pass because we are not ready. We are standing at the station, but we haven't bought a ticket. We haven't done the quiet, daily, unglamorous work of preparation. We don't have the options that are only purchased through quiet, daily sacrifice. The person who sacrificed and saved has the option to invest in the crazy idea. The person who sacrificed and studied has the option to join the risky new venture. Opportunity, you see, is the intersection of preparation and luck. You cannot control the luck. You cannot control when the train passes. You can only control your preparation. The pain of this truth is the most haunting, bitter, and venomous emotion in the human experience. It is not failure. It is regret. It is the what if. What if I had just bought the ticket? What if I had just gotten on the train? This is the ghost that haunts old age, but the advantage is that it makes you alert. You stop living in the imaginary later. You stop being asleep at the station. You realize with a cold electric clarity that your one life is happening right now. You don't get to choose when opportunity knocks or when the train passes. You only get to choose if you've done the work to be ready. Some doors close forever. This is the dark, final, and non-negotiable corollary to the previous truth. We comfort ourselves when we miss an opportunity with the idea of second chances. We tell ourselves, it will come around again. I'll catch the next train. And sometimes this is true, but sometimes it is not. Some doors do not reopen. Some trains do not loop back. Some things are not cyclical. They are linear, and they end. This is the truth of finality. The most obvious and most ignored is time. Your youth is not a renewable resource. The 20-year-old door, with its limitless energy, its fast-healing body, its low-stakes startup environment, that door is closing right now as you listen to this, and it will not reopen. Your 30s, your 40s, these are all doors, and they lock permanently behind you. The window of time to start a family is a door. The window of time to have a child is a door, and it closes. The window of time to sit on the floor and play with your toddler, who wants nothing in the world but you, that is a door. And one day you will go to open it and you will find you are knocking on the bedroom of a teenager who wants nothing to do with you. And the door is locked, the window of time to ask your aging parents about their life, about their childhood, about their secrets, that is a door. And one day you will go to ask and you will be met with silence. The chance to say, I'm sorry, to someone who is now gone. That door is closed. The chance to say, I love you. That door is closed. The startup you could have joined, that is now a $100 billion corporation. The house in the neighborhood you waited on, that you can now never afford. These doors are closed, and they are padlocked. The pain of this truth is finality. It is the cold, hard, metallic click of the lock. It is the game over on that specific path. There is no reset button. But the advantage is that this is the ultimate and most powerful antidote to procrastination. This truth is the universe, grabbing you by the shoulders, shaking you, and screaming, "Now! The time is now." This is not a message of despair, it is a message of urgency. Stop waiting, stop thinking about it, stop planning for it. Do it, because the door you are looking at, the one you are hesitating in front of, it may not be there tomorrow. Time is your most valuable asset. In the quiet of this room, you can feel something moving. It is not a sound, but a flow, the sensation of sand slipping through a closed fist. This is the sound of your most valuable and only truly non-renewable asset being spent. This is the truth that time is your most valuable asset. We are raised from birth to value money. Money can be counted, saved, invested, and crucially, it can be lost and regained. If you lose $1,000, you can earn another 1,000. Money is a renewable resource. Time is not. Time is the one universal currency, the only asset that is distributed in one sense perfectly equally. You and the wealthiest person on earth both get the same 24 hours today. But that is where the similarity ends. You cannot save time. You cannot bank the 3 hours you spent scrolling tonight and spend them next Friday. They are gone forever. You cannot invest time to compound more of it. And most terrifyingly of all, you do not know your account balance. You are operating a bank account with an unknown total, with the only certainty being that it is debit only. There are no deposits, only withdrawals. Every second, every heartbeat, a withdrawal. The illusion that destroys us is the illusion of later, the illusion that our account is infinite. And so we become the most foolish creatures in creation. We trade this priceless asset, this cosmic gold, for things that are worth nothing. We trade it for 5 more minutes of scrolling, which turns into an hour. We trade it for a job we hate, out of fear of wasting time looking for a new one. We trade it for a pointless argument with a stranger online. We trade it for hesitation, for waiting for the right moment. The pain of this truth is the anxiety. It's what we call time anxiety, the feeling that you are late, the feeling that life is passing you by. That anxiety is your soul, your deep self, screaming at you that you are witnessing a robbery. You are robbing yourself. But the advantage is that the moment you truly internalize this, your entire life changes. You stop being a frivolous spender and you become a time investor. You start asking brutal questions. Is this meeting worth 1 hour of my life? Is this relationship worth 10 hours of my week? Is this fear worth 1 year of my potential? You become ruthlessly protective of your time, not because you are selfish, but because you are wise. You begin to buy back your time, using money as a tool to do so. You understand that your time is your life. That is not a metaphor. It is the literal reality. Stop spending it. Start living it. You are replaceable in most areas of your life. This is one of the hardest truths for the ego to swallow. It feels like a personal attack, an insult to your very identity. But it must be faced. The truth is, you are replaceable. Let us be clear. We are not talking about your essential self, your consciousness, your soul. We are talking about your function. In the grand, complex, and indifferent mechanism of the world, you are not a unique gear. You are a function, and functions can and will be replaced. Think of your job. You may be the best at what you do. You may be the heart of the team. You may be the one who knows all the secrets. You may be in your own mind the load-bearing wall holding the entire building up. And then, one day, you will be gone. You will quit, be fired, or retire. You imagine, perhaps secretly, that chaos will ensue, that a quiet memorial will be held at your desk. The truth, by Monday morning, there will be an email. We'd like to announce that your name is no longer with the company. We wish them the best. Their duties will be temporarily covered by your colleague's name as we search for a replacement. And that's it. The machine does not even squeak. A month later, new hands are at your desk, using your computer, drinking from your favorite mug, and the company continues. The world did not stop. The pain of this is obvious. It is the pain of insignificance. It is the realization that your professional identity, the one you poured 60 hours a week into, was just a badge that can be handed to someone else. It stings. But what about our personal lives? Surely there we are, irreplaceable. For our young children, perhaps. For our parents. But our partners, our friends, this is an even more bitter pill. But human history is full of it. Life continues. People divorce, they break up, and they find new partners. They love again. They replace the function you held. Friends drift, and new friends fill the void. The pain of this truth is the annihilation of the ego. It is the fear of being ultimately forgettable. But the advantage is twofold, and it is more powerful than the pain. First, it liberates you from arrogance. It makes you humble. If you know you are replaceable at work, you become a better colleague, not a tyrant. You work with gratitude, not entitlement. Second, and most importantly, it forces you to ask the most important question of all. If my function is replaceable, who am I? If you are not your job title, and you are not your role as the perfect partner, then what is left? This truth is a brutal invitation to build an internal identity, an identity based on your character, on your values, on your inner self. Because your job will be replaced, your roles will change, but your character, that is the one thing you truly own. That is the one place you are, in fact, irreplaceable. Wealth does not equal happiness. This is the great seductive lie of our era, the one equation that is hammered into our brains from the moment we understand what money is. The equation is wealth equals happiness. And so the hunt begins. The entire life becomes a relentless pursuit of more zeros in the bank account, the bigger car, the bigger house, the bigger title. We believe with a religious fervor that each new level of wealth will unlock a new and permanent level of contentment. We believe that happiness is on the other side of that promotion, that bonus, that magic retirement number. We believe that once we get there, all the anxiety, all the sadness, all the emptiness will vanish. But the brutal truth is that wealth and happiness are two fundamentally different things. They are not equal. They are not even in the same category of existence. And to confuse one for the other is the recipe for a lifetime of profound disappointment. Let us be precise. Poverty is misery. A lack of money to pay rent, to put food on the table, to fix a broken tooth. That is active pain, active fear, and active stress. Money is the solution to the problems of money. Wealth, or at least financial sufficiency, buys one powerful thing. It buys freedom from the unhappiness caused by a lack of money. It buys options. It buys relief. But that is where the correlation ends. Money is a painkiller for a specific kind of pain. It is not a vitamin for the soul. What happens when you have enough, and then more than enough? You discover the great terrifying truth of hedonic adaptation. You buy the new car, and for a week you feel a thrill. A month later, it is just the car. It is the new baseline. You get the big house, and for a month, you feel like a king. A year later, you are just annoyed by the cost of heating it. The human mind is a machine that normalizes its new reality. The thrill always fades, and you are left, once again, alone with yourself. This is the great despair of the newly rich. They have won the game, and they feel nothing. They have reached the top of the mountain, only to find there is no happiness waiting there. There is only a cold, empty view, and the same you that you brought with you. The advantage of this truth is liberation. You can stop the hunt. You can get off the hedonic treadmill. You can stop outsourcing your joy to a bank account. You can stop believing that a thing can fix an internal problem. It forces you to ask, if happiness is not there, then where is it? It forces you to look in the only place it has ever been,
in your connections, in your purpose, in your health, in your present moment. Wealth is a tool. It is a good tool, but it is not and never will be the point. Nothing is permanent. This is the great, overarching, and final law of the universe. It is the truth that contains all other truths. It is the central, foundational, and most terrifying and beautiful reality of our existence. Nothing is permanent. We are creatures who build. We crave stability. We build houses of stone. We create permanent institutions. We make lifelong vows. We write our history in books, trying to carve something solid out of the chaos. We are, in our very nature, in a fight against impermanence. But it is a fight we will always lose. This truth is the source of all our pain. Why does a breakup hurt? Because we believed it would be permanent. Why does a loss grieve us? Because we believe they would be here permanently. Why do we fear failure? Because we fear a permanent stain on our record. Why do we fear death? Because it is the most permanent change of all. We are in a constant state of suffering because we are constantly trying to hold on to things that are, by their very nature, slipping. You are trying to hold a river in your bare hands. It is not possible. The flow is the point. The good times, they are not permanent. This is a painful realization. The perfect moment of joy, the thrill of new love, the peak of success, they will fade. You cannot build a house there. They are moments, not destinations. But the bad times, they are not permanent either. This is the most profound hope. The pain you feel right now, the grief that feels like it will end you, the failure that is crushing your spirit. This too shall pass. It is not a home. It is a weather pattern. It is a storm, and you are passing through it. Your sadness is not permanent. Your failure is not permanent. Your pain is not permanent. Nothing is. The pain of this truth is the feeling of groundlessness, the terror that there is nothing solid to hold on to. But the advantage is everything. When you truly, deeply accept impermanence, you are free. You are liberated from the two great thieves of life. You are liberated from clinging, and you are liberated from fearing. You stop clinging to the good moments, so desperately trying to stop them from changing, and you can finally, for the first time, experience them. You can be present for them in all their fleeting, aching beauty, and you stop fearing the bad moments. You stop resisting them as if they are a permanent stain. You see them for what they are, a cloud passing in the sky of your life. You can just let it pass. This is the ultimate letting go. It is the end of the war against reality. The past cannot be changed. There is a machine, a terrible invention, that you carry with you. It is a time machine, but it is broken. It only travels in one direction, backward, and it has no controls. It switches on by itself in the middle of the night or in a quiet, idle moment. And it plays the film, the one you have seen 1,000 times. The film of the mistake, the film of the loss, the film of the word you wish you could take back. This is the machine of rumination, and you are its prisoner. This is the brutal, simple, and mechanical truth. The past cannot be changed. We know this logically. We know it in the same way we know that gravity exists. It is an obvious, factual, and uninteresting statement, but in our hearts, we do not believe it. We are magical thinkers. We believe on some deep emotional level that if we just replay the event enough times, if we just analyze it from every possible angle, if we just punish ourselves with enough guilt, with enough what-ifs, we can somehow magically alter what happened. What if I had just left 10 minutes earlier? What if I had just said this instead of that? What if I had seen the sign? This is not reflection. This is a form of self-torture. You are forcing the you of today to pay over and over again for a debt that was incurred by a different person, because the you who made that mistake no longer exists. They were a person with less information, less experience, and less wisdom than the person you are now. You are punishing a ghost. The pain of this truth is the feeling of being haunted. It is the realization that you are a prisoner in a cell you built yourself, forced to watch the same agonizing film forever. It is the exhaustion of fighting a war that is already and has always been lost. But the advantage is the key to the cell door. When you move from logically knowing to emotionally accepting that the past is a closed, locked, and unchangeable room, you can finally stop trying to break the door down. You can stop spending the precious, finite, and valuable currency of your present on a debt that is past. This is not about forgetting. Forgetting is impossible. This is about integration. This is about walking into that locked room, looking at the film, and saying, this is the lesson, not this is the me. You take the lesson and you leave the guilt. You take the wisdom and you leave the shame. You stop being the prisoner of your past and you become the student of it. The past cannot be changed, but you can be. You will die one day. There is a final, absolute, and non-negotiable truth that contains all the others. It is the shadow that walks behind you every single day of your life. It is the one truth that we have built our entire civilization to deny, to hide, to cosmeticize, and to ignore. But here, in the quiet, as you wait for sleep, we will say its name. You will die one day. Memento Mori. Remember, you must die. This is not a morbid thought. This is not a negative thought. It is perhaps the only thought that matters. We live in a culture of death denial. We see it as a failure, a medical mistake, an accident, a tragedy. We see it as something unnatural, but it is the most natural and most guaranteed event of your entire existence. It is the destination that was written on your ticket before your journey even began. It is the one great solid fact in a life of otherwise total chaos. The pain of this truth is the terror. It is the fear of annihilation, the fear of non-existence, the fear of the end. It is the fear of leaving things unsaid, of leaving things undone. It is the fear of the unknown. And so we run. We distract ourselves. We get busy. We chase wealth. We chase status. We chase sensation, all in a desperate and failing attempt to outrun the shadow that is, by definition, attached to us. We live as if we have 1,000 years. We waste our time as if it is an infinite resource. But the advantage is that this one great dark truth is the single most powerful source of clarity and purpose available to a human being. It is the ultimate antidote to procrastination. It is the ultimate filter for your life. When you truly live, not just know but live, with the knowledge of your own death, your life ignites. Suddenly, all the small, petty, and paralyzing fears evaporate. The fear of judgment, the fear of what people will think, it becomes absurd in the face of your own extinction. The fear of asking for what you want, the fear of starting the new thing, the fear of saying I love you, all of it is revealed to be nothing. Death is the ultimate priority filter. It asks you the one final question. With the small, unknown, and finite amount of time you have left, is this what you want to be doing? Is this argument worth a day of your life? Is this job you hate worth another year of your life? Is this fear worth your one and only life? This truth is not a reason to despair. It is a reason to live. It is the universe screaming at you with the utmost urgency. Act, love, build, speak, now, now, now. 1. You are responsible for your own happiness. There is a comforting fantasy that we are taught from childhood. It is the fantasy of the rescue. It is the core of every fairy tale, the plot of 1,000 movies. The idea that one day, someone or something will come along and fix you, that a perfect partner will arrive and your loneliness will be cured, that a new job or a new city or a winning lottery ticket will be delivered and your dissatisfaction will be solved. We live our lives in a state of passive, hopeful waiting. We are the victims of our circumstances, the supporting characters in our own lives, waiting for the hero to arrive and give us the happy ending. But the brutal truth, the one that is both terrifying and electric, is this: you are responsible for your own happiness. This is a brutal truth because it is a total burden. It means there are no more excuses. You can no longer blame your past. You can no longer blame your parents. You can no longer blame your bad luck. You can no longer blame your unfair boss. You can no longer, and this is the hardest one, wait for your partner to make you happy. You are not a victim. You are, and always have been, the agent. This is the moment you must realize. Happiness is not a delivery. It is not a product that you can acquire. It is not a destination you can reach. Happiness is a job. It is a practice. It is a skill. It is an internal state of being that you must build brick by brick every single day. It is the hard, daily, and often unsexy work of managing your thoughts, of choosing your perspective, of taking care of your body, of setting your boundaries, of finding your purpose, of showing gratitude. It is work, and no one can do that work for you. The pain of this truth is the loneliness of it, the terror of, what if I fail? The crushing weight of knowing that all of it is on you. The rescue is not coming, but the advantage is absolute power. It is the single most liberating realization of a human life. It is the moment you stop being a passenger and you take the wheel. You are no longer waiting for the script to be handed to you. You are writing the script. You are no longer a leaf, blown about by the winds of fate. You are the wind. This truth is not a burden. It is your liberation. It is the moment your real life begins. You are not waiting for happiness. You are the source of it. Motivation follows action, not the other way around. We are all waiting. We are waiting for the feeling, the spark, the muse, the divine inspiration, the mood. We tell ourselves, I will start that project when I feel motivated. I will go to the gym when I feel energetic. I will write that book when inspiration strikes. We treat motivation as if it is a prerequisite, as if it is a magical external force, a lightning bolt that must strike us before we can possibly begin. And so we wait, and we wait, and we wait on the couch in our comfortable misery, and the spark never comes. And we call this procrastination, and we feel guilty and weak and lazy. But we are not weak. We are not lazy. We have just been told a lie. We have been told the single most debilitating lie of the self-help world. The brutal truth is, motivation follows action, not the other way around. You have the equation backward. It is not motivation, action equals result. The real equation is action, result, motivation. Motivation is not the cause of the action. It is the result of it. It is the reward that your brain gives you after you have already begun. Think of it as emotional physics, the law of emotional inertia. An object at rest, you on the couch, tends to stay at rest. An object in motion, you 5 minutes into the task, tends to stay in motion. The hardest part of any task is the start. It is the activation energy. It is the moment of friction between rest and motion. The lie tells you to wait for a feeling to overcome that friction. The truth tells you to use a system. The truth tells you to ignore your feelings, to treat them as irrelevant, to treat them as the whining child in the back seat. That does not get to drive the car. The advantage of this truth is that it is the ultimate life hack. It is the key to all productivity. It means you can stop waiting forever. You no longer need to feel like it. You just need to do. You need to show up. You need to start. You need to use the 5-minute rule. You don't go to the gym. You just put on your shoes. You don't write the book. You just open the document. You don't clean the house. You just wash one dish. You make the action so small that the friction is almost zero, and then the magic happens. You put on your shoes and you walk out the door. You open the document and you write one sentence. You wash one dish and you wash another. And suddenly, 5 minutes in, a small, quiet, wonderful feeling arrives. This is not so bad. I am doing it. That is motivation. It is not the spark, it is the result. No one is coming to save you. This is the last truth. It is the one that gathers all the others, all 32, and binds them together. This is the truth that, once accepted, completes your liberation. No one is coming to save you. This is the final, brutal dismantling of the childhood fantasy. It is the end of the fairy tale. It is the end of waiting. We are so deeply programmed to wait for a savior. We wait for the perfect partner to come and complete us. We wait for the visionary boss to come and discover us. We wait for the government to come and fix our problems. We wait for a doctor to give us a magic pill that fixes the body we neglected. We are, all of us, standing on the platform, waiting for a train that is not on the schedule. We are, in our quietest, most private moments, just children, waiting for a parent to come into the room and make it all okay. But the room is empty. The platform is empty. The brutal and terrifying truth is that you are it. You are the one you have been waiting for. The responsibility, it is all yours. The happiness, it is your job. The motivation, it is your action. The problems, they are yours to solve. No one is coming to do the work for you. No one is coming to face your fears for you. No one is coming to build your life for you. You are the hero you've been waiting for. You are the rescuer. You are the adult in the room. This, at first, feels like the coldest, most desolate, most terrifying loneliness imaginable. It feels like you have been left, abandoned, in a vast, indifferent universe. But then, something shifts. The terror of this truth is the feeling of total abandonment. But the advantage is the feeling of absolute freedom. If you are the only one, then you are free. You are free from waiting. You are free from blaming. You are free from disappointment. You are free from asking for permission. You can at last begin. You can stop asking, who will let me? And finally ask, what will I do? This is the final advantage. This is the moment you stop being a victim of your life and become the architect of it. You are the one. You are the answer. And you always have been. You have reached the end. Those who arrive here with their minds still awake understand more than words. Leave a single word in the comments below that captures what you felt tonight, and share this reflection with someone else who still searches for meaning in the quiet. Until next time, sleep well.